People ask me fairly often how to get started with somatic resonance, because they'll ask how to get started with imaginal literacy, and I say, well, you need somatic resonance first. And then, okay, how do I start with that? And my frustrating answer that I give is that it really doesn't matter at the beginning. There's a few key things that you should keep in mind or keep embodied, whatever. But beyond that, the specifics don't matter all that much. And what I mean there is, yeah, I'll give out a lot of different meditation instructions. And you might have seen a couple dozen of these that I have put out there, or you've seen a ton of them in my course where there's 12, 15 different practices. You're like, okay, where do I start? Which one's like the beginner one? And they are all kind of the beginner one. Because for most of us, most of the time, just the time and culture and society that we live in, we spend all of our time up in the head. So the first real obstacle is just to not do that so much, to kind of soften how stuck in the head we are, soften how much all of our energy comes up here and just starts spinning and cranking, and we're always thinking and using our mind to chew on something and some inner monologue going. All of that, just soften it and let things fall a bit more, create a bit more workable space. For me, the most helpful thing starting out is just a metaphor to keep in mind, and then to keep acting on that metaphor. And the metaphor is of the body, the entire soma, as basically a gravity field. And anywhere in your body where you put deep, connected, concerted awareness, that leaves a little footprint, that adds a little density, and it deepens a gravity well at that place in your body, a gravity well of awareness. Which does mean that for most of us, we've spent 10, 20, 30, 40 years up here. So we've just got a giant black hole in the head that draws everything to it. All of our awareness kind of stays up here. And even when we try to be aware of the body, to feel your legs, feel your torso, what tends to happen is that the me behind the eyes here just shines a spotlight down on the rest of the body. And this me is still the one who's in charge, who is doing the feeling, doing the body scanning. And that's not bad. It does still help towards the beginning. But what we're really looking for is where the body can find its own awareness and come into, just its own kind of spacious awareness of itself, of which the head is one part, where it's all included. It's one big old field of awareness where you can kind of naturally drop your awareness and it will just go wherever it needs to go. It can go anywhere. It's not just defaulted to clenched up here and no idea how to get out, no idea how to find awareness somewhere else. So if we think of all of this as a gravity field, and all the gravity at the moment is up in the head, the first real step is just to get gravity anywhere else in the body. Once you get kind of 2 points where things can start to move, to circulate, you're already well on your way. So towards the beginning, like I said, it almost doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you are taking time and just concerted, direct awareness in the body. Drop your awareness into the heart center, for example. Just spend 100 hours over the course of however long you can, dropping into the heart, feeling your heartbeat, feeling your breath in the heart space, feeling this area around your heart with your lungs expanding and moving. Or maybe not the literal heart, but kind of the energetic center of the chest heart. Whatever it is, dropping awareness down into this space, holding your awareness there, letting it move and swirl through that area, maybe just pinning it right there, if that's more your speed. Basically doesn't matter. Take 100 hours. Hang out in the heart. Take 100 hours. Move down to the gut. Take 100 hours. Put awareness into your thighs, into your hips. Anywhere down there, anywhere under the neck is good. I do suspect the lower is the better. I don't know why, but I always start with the feet when we're doing body scans and stuff. And that seems to have worked out pretty well. It does seem like having you drop your awareness further and further and further down does kind of balance things out a little more and a little more quickly. Not sure why that is, but it seems to work for whatever reason. But anyway, the really good thing about this, about the whole body is a gravity field, and you can just take time and awareness to deepen gravity wells further down and further down so that your awareness can circulate a little better. And once it can get out of the head at all, everything else moves faster. So many more things start to make more sense, so many more possibilities open. Everything just builds and builds once you're able to drop into the body and really just be there. And one of the really nice things about this model is just that you don't need to be, I say 100 hours. People get intimidated sometimes. He said 100 hours. That means I have to sit on the cushion and focus on my heart center for 100 hours. That's going to take, months, right? Not so much, really. It's good to spend concerted time in meditation on this. It does help deepen things much more quickly, and it gives you more access outside of meditation, which is where the real magic is on this. You can just be walking down the street and holding awareness in your gut, holding awareness down in the lower dantian, the hara center, between the belly button and the hips, basically, back in the deep interior of the torso. You can just walk around and keep your awareness there and just hold it. What is it feeling right now? What is happening in that area right now? And that might be anything from, I have a stomach ache and I'm just very aware of lots of gurgling as I'm walking around, up through, there's a sense of slight, a current of discomfort, and it feels connected to a call I just had that went very poorly. Okay, sit there, deepen into that. There's a whole range of what you might notice here, but the main thing is you can move through your day just holding awareness there. And whenever you notice that you've kind of let go of that awareness and you're just back up here focused on whatever you're doing, you can just lightly drop again. Just check in. Okay, what's happening down in the deep interior of my hips, the deep interior of my torso? What's going on there? And even if you meditate maybe 20 minutes a day to really hold this awareness, and then the rest of your day, you keep forgetting, but over the course of the day, you rack up 3-4 hours maybe from just, okay, I can sit and do this. I can hold it definitely while I'm eating lunch. I can just keep awareness in the deep inner torso. While I'm out for a long walk, I can keep coming back to that again. And 100 hours rack up pretty quickly. That's easy to do in a month. And if you take that for each different area of the body, if you want to really dedicate, January is for the lower dantian, the lower torso. February, all about the heart center, sticking to that heart center. And then March, bottom of the legs, deep down in the thighs, down in the calves, down in the feet. Just going to keep the awareness down there as much as possible. That's 3 months, and pretty easy to do 300 hours. And I would be shocked at the end of that if you didn't return to some meditation instructions, to some things that I'm saying about somatic resonance and somatic awareness, ones that did not make sense 3 months ago. And then you come back now, you're probably going to find that they're a lot easier to make sense of, that the experiences there feel familiar to you now. A lot will change just by that daily invocation of what does it feel like down in the heart, down in the gut, down in the hips, the thighs, the feet. However much you can put your awareness deeper into the body, it builds up over time. And yeah, that's kind of my beginner answer. And especially for people who get frustrated with some of my meditation prompts at the beginning because they don't make any sense. I tell you to let your feet be aware of themselves, and you have no idea what that means. You can't find anything in your experience that makes sense of it. Perfectly fine. Every instruction is not for every person. I've got like a dozen or so of these because they tend to fit with different people at different times. But all of them really do require some awareness of just what is going on in the body and some ability to drop in and sense the body, for your awareness to move through the body as it will. And as you're starting out, there's not a whole lot of things you can do to like quickly microwave body awareness. It's not something that you can just find, okay, here's my trick, I did it, done in like 2 days, we're great, I've got it now. It's just hours. It's just time that you have spent in the body, deepening into the body, methodically moving into and sensing through the body and allowing your awareness to really marinate there and to deepen those somatic gravity wells, to just deepen the way that your attention will naturally gravitate lower, lower, back up, back up. And you get kind of this circulation of awareness that naturally arises out of this. Yeah, so like I said, when you're starting out with somatic resonance, when you're starting out with somatic awareness, everyone will have slightly different practices that help them out, that help them move through it. And I've put out a bunch of these, a bunch of people I really like have put out other ones. Doesn't really matter what you pick. What does matter is that you can find something that you can consistently again and again and again return to, putting your awareness very pointedly into the body, dropping it deeply into the body again and again and again for 100 hours, for 100 more hours, for another 100 hours. So it has to be something that is at least somewhat enjoyable for you, that you at least get something out of, and you can feel some sense of whether there's anything at the end of this or not. What is happening right now is just nice. It's just pleasant. And I will continue doing it for 100 hours, for 200 hours, for 300 hours, whether or not there's some wonderful state on the other side of it. That's the whole reason somatic meditation took for me years ago, was that it was the first one where I had found that even moving through my day, without like planning to or pointing myself at doing so, I would just naturally drop back into it because it felt really nice to do. It helped to ground my day and just make me feel a little more present, a little more like I could handle everything that was going on, a little more like there was something for me here. And then bonus, it turned out there was a lot for me there once I deepened in and spent all of that time. So I just want to offer that to you. Somatic gravity wells. Any amount of time that you can spend deepening into the body, it's all you need.